Welcome to my channel. Yes, I am new to YouTube. I am new here, but this is Trap So Tasty. Alright, I'm gonna start off. I have a very interesting topic, I feel like, today. I have my little notepad here. Sorry if it's kind of echoey in the background. This is the best lighting that I have in my house, and this is, yeah, the best light in my house. And I wanted it to look a little professional for you guys, and I know it's echoey, but yeah. I wanted to get on the topic today. A very interesting topic that I feel like is very big in my life, and I feel like we're not at a day and age where I feel like a lot more females are talking about it. But when I was coming up dancing, I don't feel like a lot of people were talking about it. Like, you really couldn't look too much up and really couldn't go to a lot of people. I feel like at the time, like, if you were hopping in and stripping, dancing, entertaining, whatever you want to call it, you pretty much had to go out there, find out your own sources. Hopefully you had a friend, but a lot of people had to get their courage together and go out there and make their money no matter what circumstances or situation they're in. But I wanted to get on my situation and why I started dancing. And I wanted to get on it. I started dancing around the year of 2014, 2015. I was probably like a year out of high school and maybe like a few months out of college. At the time, I did not get to finish because of my circumstances, and I was hopping out of a really bad relationship that like ended for me, and it was very toxic at the time, and I really didn't have too many options or places to go or make money. And I was in a relationship where I was like working at Foot Locker, and like me and my ex had got into it about something, and I ended up having to quit my job, and I was stressed and had to find another job, and thank God I ended up getting like a little pizza restaurant job. Me and my relationship did end, but at the time I was working at a pizza restaurant, long story short. And yeah, I wasn't getting a lot of hours. My boss was a jerk at the time, a cool jerk, but definitely a jerk. And I was just at a point where I was pregnant when I was 19 to end up realizing like this isn't gonna work for me. I ended up getting an abortion. After that, I was kind of like doing little like raunchy parties, but this is going to be my first experience like getting into the club. Before I started dancing, I was doing like little rinky-dink parties, I would say, here and there, making a couple $100, nothing serious at the time. But I had friends that danced at the club. Now, before I was going to the club, I was in a situation where I was getting kicked out of my house, and I really didn't have much options for money. My boss wasn't giving me hours. I was making about like $200, $250 a week, and it really just wasn't working out for me. Like, I had real bills, I had real problems, and I honestly didn't know where else to go. So I had asked a friend of mine, like, hey, have you ever danced at this club? And I really need to make some money. And she was telling me, I do want to shout her out. Shout out to my friend Candace Moreland. At the time, I asked her, and I was like, have you ever danced at this club? And like, how was it? And I really wanted to get into dancing seriously at a real club because I needed to make real money. I was going through a situation where I was getting kicked out of my house. I was staying with like my mom and her boyfriend, and they got into it, and I just didn't want to go back to my mom's house because her house really wasn't up to par. So I just like made an agreement with my mom boyfriend, like, can I just stay at your house until like I could afford to get my own apartment, or until like I could afford to get me a ticket to go down south where my dad stays at. And my plan was dance here for 2 months, learn what I could learn, and then hurry up and go dance in Alabama and keep it a secret from my dad. And and I did. But yeah, so like I said, I ended up getting an audition at the club that my friend Candace was working at the time, and I got in. Thank God, I guess you could say, because I was really in an effed up predicament. But why I started was really honestly because I didn't have no other options. Jobs were not hiring that fast at the time. I really needed fast money. I needed real money. And probably a few months before that, I had got an abortion. So I was like, I was already feeling worse. I was already feeling bad. And I just told myself, like, you could never sit on your butt again and not make no money. Like, you can't sit up here trying to be grown out here and you don't even have enough money to barely support yourself, and how are you going to support a child? So I made a pact to myself, like, no matter what I did, job, dance, or whatever, I will put my full 100% into it. And if I was going to do it, I was going to be the best at it that I could. So I ended up getting into the club. I did my first audition. I'm not going to lie, I feel like my first time dancing on the stage ever was one of the most degrading feelings of my life. I'm not going to lie at all. If I could have broke down right there and cried, I would have. I felt like I always been a girl that was big on graduating from college and getting my degree and my career and being so focused on my career. It was just crazy that it didn't work out like that for me, and I had to go with what I knew, hit the streets and hustle. And it led me to, sadly, a strip club. But I'm not going to say sad because it has helped mold me into the person I am today. I can say, like, I thank a lot from dancing because it has made me stronger. It has gave me a lot more confidence in myself. It has also, like, with the good comes the bad. So I'm not going to, like, act like everything's all good because it's a lot of drama when it comes to it. And also I want to go on, how was it when I started dancing? When I started dancing, my first night, I made only $40. I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, how did I only make $40? I remind you, I always been the shy type. I always been very standoffish. Anybody that really knows me knows that, like, I'm very, very, very to myself. Like, I always been quiet, but I'm a Sagittarius at heart, always had a fire under me that I feel like no matter what I could do, I can do whatever I put my mind to. And if I practice at it and if I do it and work on it hard, and remember, I had to get some money so I could get out my mom's boyfriend house at the time because they were going at it, and 1 minute she's over there, 1 minute she's leaving. Like, I was like, I gotta get my stuff together, sis, because my mom is crazy. And I'm like, at the time, I'm only 19, 18, I need a solid place to stay. So I ended up getting to a club. It was more, I'm gonna say, Caucasian. It was a real Caucasian club. It was only like a few black girls in there. So it's like we kind of stuck together. It was kind of really close. But, like, mainly Caucasian club. And a lot of the girls there, like, a few that I did meet, like, I would ask them to, like, teach me pole tricks and teach me little things and ask them for advice about, like, getting my stuff together, because my first night I only made $40. Now, remind you, you know how rides are as big now, Uber and stuff like that. Back then, it was none of that. I was, like, begging for rides to work, from work, and remind you, I live, like, 30 minutes from my job. So, like, and then my boss, when I first met him, like, he gave me set days to work. Like, I need you here Saturday, like Friday and Sunday, or like Saturday and Sunday. So I had to always, like, he told me I could come in any other days that I want, but he needs me there Saturday, Sunday, day shift. How the hell am I always get there them 2 days and I stay 30 minutes out? No car. The bus does not run out there. The cab was at least a good $40 there and back. I only made $40 on my first night. Luckily, I had a friend that was really nice. He was really nice at the time. He would give me rides to work when he can in between him going to work, and he would also pick me up on nights that I really needed to get picked up. I also ended up finding a couple girls that I became friends with at the club that would also like give me rides to work and give me rides home when they could. And you meet, like, if you trust them, like really nice customers that, like, I'm not suggesting anybody ride home with a customer, but it was a customer that was related to like the cook at our job, and she would get rides home with him too. So I would like carpool with them. So at the time, it was like I was doing anything I could to make sure I could get to work safely, get home safely, make my money. And eventually over time, I ended up making money. I ended up making a good amount of money over time, and my butt was always at work. After 2 months, I did end up going down south where my father lives at, and I ended up finding a club out there. Now remember, the club that I danced at up here upstate is a mainly Caucasian club. So when I went down south, it was not Caucasian. It was not Caucasian at all. It was everything you see in the videos. It was very booty, 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 rocking everywhere. It was very, I feel like that club, and it's crazy because the club at the time was called Players Club. Coincidence. It was called Players Club. So that's another story. I ended up going down there and dancing for 2 months. It was just big booties, outfits. Things were so different there than it was here. And it was like up here we're doing like dances in the bag, you know. Up here a customer could get $25 a song, the club takes 10, you keep 15, or 3 for 50, you know, stuff like that. So I go down there and learn the culture of dancing down south. Now that's where the studded out outfits come from. That's where the land of the big booties come from. That's where you meet all type of rappers, and it's all type of stuff going on down south. So when I seen that, that really like opened my eyes, like, wow, like the dancing culture is so different here. Like it even got me into makeup, because at the time I wasn't wearing makeup and I was wearing like homemade outfits at the time. So it was like when I looked at those beautiful girls, it was like, damn, I want to look like them. I want to move and I want to shake like them. I was still new. I was still 3 months into dancing, but I was so determined because I had a lot on the line. And I said, you know, after I dealt with a year prior to that, I'm gonna say dealt with the whole abortion situation, losing my job, like going through so much stuff. I was just like, I can't be sitting on my butt. Like I can't be out here not doing nothing. I gotta get up and make something shake. I gotta make something happen for myself. So no matter what it is, especially if it's this, I need to get out there and I need to be doing my thing. So one day my boss put me to the side and was like, I noticed that you getting a rhythm going and what you got going on. I see that you starting to learn. God rest his soul, because he passed away a few years ago from a heart attack, but he told me, he was like, you really starting to learn. I was starting to make my little money down there, and I was like, the things that I seen down south, it made me be like, dang, when I do go back upstate to Buffalo, I want to bring so much of what I learned down here back there. And how could I do that? Like, how could I bring down south, up north, upstate? It's like Buffalo is such an industrial city. How could I do it? So I ended up selling outfits at the time. No, I got into selling outfits once I came back, and I ended up going back to my original club. Now it's closed down, became another club. That one got closed down, and I ended up dancing at an urban club in Buffalo, as a lot of people know it as Chit Chats, Tiffany's, One Eye Kitty. And that's how I also learned a lot of things that, like, I know now, how to hustle, how to talk to people. I know a lot of girls, like, that are getting into it or that's in the club or already in the industry. I don't suggest no young ladies hop straight out of high school and go right to the strip club. I'm not trying to tell y'all how to live y'all life, but deep down, if I wasn't going through such a hard time at the time, like trying to get it together between jobs, and at the time it was really hard to find a job, me being young, so inexperienced, trying to go to college, and at the time it was just so much, and I just needed an outlet. I just needed something that would give me enough money to be able to get off my feet, get my first car. With dancing, I got my first apartment, and shit, 6 years later, here I am. I'm still a dancer. I don't dance that often, but Trap So Tasty is now my exotic dancewear line. And I felt like I really wanted a way to tell people my story without making it sound so corny, because I don't feel like it's too crazy exciting, but it was a lot at the time when I was only 19, by myself in the world, no help from nobody. Had a few friends that were already dancing, and luckily they kind of helped lead me into the right direction. And we still great friends until this day. And moving forward, I plan on stopping dancing soon. I have a few things that I do want to do in my life. I have a few things that I plan on doing after dancing. Now I am a mother of a 1-year-old, and he has made my life so much different. He has made me feel like dancing now has made me make this money have a purpose. Before, I was just dancing and just living carefree and doing my thing, feeling like I'm on top of the world and blowing money, and I lost sight of why I started, the reasons I started. And now, like, I don't even like to go to work that much anymore, but I do. I do when I can and when I feel like it, or when, you know, when we need that extra money. And I still feel like deep down dancing, it's the culture, it's a part of us, all fellow dancers, all girls hopping into dancing. I want you guys to feel like coming to my channel, asking me anything. This is a way to honestly have an outlet and somebody to talk to. Any type of advice you have. This, like, the path for me was not easy, but dancing has helped make things lenient. And I'm gonna make a couple more videos about things that girls want to know, like talking to customers, outfits, what is in my dancing bag, and stuff like that. Like, things to have, things to remember, and we could just go from there. So this is my first video, and I just want to thank you for listening to me and letting me have you guys time. And I hope I touched enough topics. And if I didn't, please feel free to leave some comments below, like this video, subscribe, and thank you for subscribing to Trap So Tasty.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.